But you can always find a Loudmouth record because nobody bought them anyway. So they're out there, believe me, and it's not rare. So don't pay more than a couple bucks for it. This is one of them. See, Beth was really good. She designed all this stuff. And Sick Pleasure, San Francisco right there. That's one of my favorites ever. Sick Pleasure. Right there. Dave Chavez, skateboarder ruler, Mike Fox, Nikki Sicky, and Sal Paradise. They're great. And Dave's still a rad skateboarder and plays music still. RKL, It's a Beautiful Feeling. That's one of my all-time faves right there. Fucking Mystic Records. Chris Resch, Jason Sears, Vince Peppers, and Bomber. Mazzulo on drums. Yeah, that one rules.
What do you think of this photo here? That's pretty amazing.
That's one of my favorite pictures. I love it. I think I might have been there when they did that. It was like, but just Curtis, if you've seen that thing, it's just that's a straight 4-foot plank of wood that he's just whoosh, right on the edge. He was doing disasters on that. I'm pretty sure, because I remember he took a picture. They were doing this picture series of everyone riding a soy board, and he did like a edger, like they held one soy board on there, and he was riding a soy board and like did an edger out on this other. It was insane, but style galore, obviously. Priest, of course. Actually, I inherited this from Curtis's record collection once he passed away, and been digging it. Actually, I'd never dig that deep into Judas Priest. The Bad Brains, first time I ever saw the Bad Brains was at the farm, and it was 86, so it was Eye Against Eye, so yeah, people say, oh no, it was all, and yeah, I missed that early hardcore, but they ruled it, and they did it all then, and it was just, I was still really young and just started going to shows, so it was epic. But still, even though I just started going to shows, I think it really was epic, you know? It was like packed, and every kind of person in there, and then they do a reggae song, and it was like a reggae pit, you know, which sounds goofy now, but it was sick. It was fucking sick. You had gnarly skinheads and dreadlocks and everyone just going at it. It was awesome. The farm was, I believe, a co-op urban farm where people, they had animals there. They grew food there. You know, animals like maybe goats and sheep and pigs, maybe, I don't know. But I know when we go downstairs to go to the bathroom, there was animals out behind the gate. But that's what it was. In the mid to later 80s, they had, that was where a lot of the rad punk and bigger punk shows were. I saw RKL there a few times. And that Bad Brains show, I remember DRI played before the Bad Brains, and it was fucking Skinhead Nut House right before, like during that. Like they did the Wall of Death where they all like stood at the stage and then turned around and just charged the crowd, and it was all skinheads, and it was crazy. But then when the Bad Brains played, it was like unity, brah, you know? It was funny as hell. I loved it. For people who don't know, this, our Potrero skate park is the park behind the farm, which then was like a cholo park, and it was kind of gnarly because all the homeboys would be hanging out there drinking, and then it was the punks drinking, and I think they had, I was way out of that. I was a little kid and didn't, the skinheads would be over there and they got some gnarly stuff, but it was crazy.
Do you have any other models besides that one?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, oh, that's it. There, that's one. And that's a painting my wife did years ago, and it's kind of condensed and cut, but see how she made it into a rad little board. And actually it's funny because he used this thing where my daughter wrote Pete the Ox like in red, but it didn't come through on the, you could see a little bit of the red. The highlight of my musical career, I don't know if I've had a career, but I've had so many fun times playing music. Once the Loudmouths did this thing, the Lewd Mouths, where the Lewd, it basically was a Lewd reunion, but it was just Bob on guitar and Sat singing, so we were like the rest of the band. And that completely ruled because I love the Lewd, and it was like a fantasy.
So here they are, the Milli Vanilli of punk rock, Mabuhay days.
once that picture there, the Stooges played, you know, way later at the Warfield, and my sister's band opened, and her drummer wasn't in town, so I sat in and played at the Warfield opening for the Stooges with Iggy, and it was insane. And I got to play with my sister.
She walked in
That
with
was
her
really
big
cool.
black boots.
So tell me about your sister and her band.
Yeah, her band, she's in a few bands. Her main band's called Dolorada, and she's a ripper guitar player and singer, and plays kind of bluesy stuff and does her own music and recording, and right now she's went back to school for music. Yeah, she kills it. She's way more into music than me. She totally goes for it, and that's what she's doing. And so she's been playing in bands for a while. She's my younger sister, but she's a killer. Of course, they all learn from me.
Hey, is anybody skating the ramp over there?
Crib ramp, well,
You guys quit, huh? Did you guys give up for today? Well, maybe I can break up my fruit boots.
in Palo Alto, which was like in the corner of these streets that there was no other houses next to it. So he set up lights and you could just skate there till 5 in the morning if you want to. And it was a rad ramp. I think the original crib ramp was at this house in Menlo Park where Schmitty and Ryder and Kai and all those guys lived. But Charlie's crib ramp was the one that you've probably seen pictures and stuff. They used to have huge parties and do all that stuff. Every, I don't know, Tuesday nights or something, they'd have come skate night. They had parties with bands, and then they just have skate nights where guys were DJing, like in the middle of the night on a Tuesday. It was pretty rad. A great ramp, too. That was probably the best mini ramp. Good little extension with pool coping, then they set up other extensions, and really well-built ramp. And a garbage truck went out of control once and ran into the ramp and, like, fucked it up or something, and if I'm not mistaken, they had to like pay to help fix it or something. I love skateboarding. That's what I could add.
Any famous last words?
Just keep the energy going. It's all about being hyped. I want to, I don't know, say thanks to my family, my parents, for always being supportive of me, or whatever. And of course my wife, Lisa, my daughters, Lily and Bella. You got it all in there?